and I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm Emi from Mirairo. We are a small Japanese company pioneering a business model in which persons with disabilities play the key role. In Japan, we are unique in that we offer comprehensive consulting services around issues on accessibility and inclusion with inputs from persons with disabilities. Okay. Okay, and I would like to take you through our journey. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, right. So Mirairo was founded in 2010 by 2 university students, and now we have around 60 staff. Our founder, Toshiya, has been using a wheelchair since his childhood, and he really wanted to walk, and he went through years of rehabilitation. But his turning point came at university. Oops. Okay. Instead of trying to find something he could do despite his disability, he started thinking about what he could do precisely because he was disabled. And that's how he came up with this concept of barrier value, which became our corporate identity. We believe that persons with disabilities can create value based on their experience of facing barriers in society. And they're in the best position to advise how such barriers can be removed. So with this idea, Toshiya and his friend entered many business idea contests for entrepreneurs, and they won many awards and were giving prize money. And with this seed money, they founded this company. And since then, we have funded our own growth without any financial support. But there have been a lot of obstacles. And we can say that we turned these obstacles into business opportunities. The first obstacle was Toshiya's personal experience in trying to find a university that was accessible for wheelchair users. Because he had so much difficulty finding a university with an accessible campus, he thought, well, there should be many other people with disabilities who would benefit from having this kind of information. So he came up with this business idea of making accessibility maps for universities and private companies. However, there was very little interest. They encountered many business owners who said, well, we don't need accessibility maps. You are not expecting any customers or students with disabilities. So they saw a need to do something to change this mindset. And that's how Mirairo started providing training to promote awareness on the importance of diversity and inclusion. And this training is facilitated by persons with disabilities. And the participants learn how disability is caused by barriers in society. And this training has been increasingly popular in Japan. And since 2013, more than 70,000 people have taken this training. And more than 800 companies and public organizations have used it as part of staff training, for example. And our clients include some big corporations like Toyota and the Japan Airlines. So with this training, the awareness for importance of inclusion and changing the mindset has spread. However, when it actually came to the physical improvement or the improvement of physical accessibility, many business owners said, well, it's too expensive, too difficult, we are not ready for that. So we thought we should give them some constructive and reasonable suggestions. And to do this, we created a registry of research monitors with disabilities. Now, across the country, we have around 5,000 people with different types of disabilities registered with us. And they take part in our consulting services through online surveys, lead user interviews, and access audits, for example. And based on their inputs, we put together recommendations for our clients. And it is important to note that the research monitors are remunerated properly as they should be. So it has become a new way of working and generating income for persons with disabilities. So because we worked a lot with people with different types of disabilities, we started listening a lot about their stories. And many of them told us of their difficulty in finding places to go because restaurants, shops, many of them were inaccessible. So we came up with this idea to develop an app to collect and share information on the accessibility features of places. The users of this app can leave a review of the places they visited, and there are various checkpoints like the number of steps at the entrance or the availability of lift or wheelchair accessible restrooms, for example. Okay, and we have a colleague who is deaf, and also there are many research monitors with hearing impairments, and they were telling us that they were feeling left behind because they had having difficulty in communication, and there was a great need for sign language interpretation, and we wanted our clients, companies in Japan, to make sign language interpretation available in their services. And we figured it's better we become a service provider ourselves so that we can offer flexible business packages to our clients. So in 2017, we started providing sign language relay service to connect deaf persons and hearing persons with a remote sign language interpreter. So as you have seen, we have encountered many obstacles and barriers, but our passion and commitment have always found a way to turn them into business opportunities. And our company is small, but we are now the only provider in Japan. It's this wide range of solutions and tools to address the issues around accessibility. Let me share with you an example. We worked with this big amusement park. They wanted to improve the customer experience for persons with disabilities. So first thing we did was to invite our research monitors to spend a half day at this park and give us feedback. Wheelchair users and people with hearing impairment, visual impairment, they gave us different types of feedback. And they all pointed out the importance of doing something to do with the mindset of the staff so that they will be more accommodating for persons with disabilities. So the first thing we did was training. All 350 staff who work at this amusement park were trained. And about environment, we gave them many advice. And one of the things that they did was start using a ramp for the shuttle bus, which runs through the park. And they also removed some of the seats from the bus to make more room for wheelchair users and strollers. And we also developed a quite extensive accessibility guidebook with our research monitors. And for example, we compiled information of all the restrooms in the park. And also for each attraction, we made a booklet to, for example, show the layout of the venue, which indicates the location of the lift and wheelchair accessible seats, and what kind of view you can get from those accessible seats, as well as the number and size of those seats, and what to expect in terms of lighting or sound or temperature for those people who are sensitive to these factors. So, and we have seen a change in the mindset. Before these interventions, only 10% of the staff said they felt confident in receiving customers or visitors with disabilities. Afterwards, it went up to 80%. And also, we received very positive feedback from the guests with disabilities. 90% of the guests noticed the staff attitude had been improved compared with before. So what we have learned from our experience is that we need to communicate with businesses in their language to get them on board. So the first thing they're interested is the market. So we talk about, for example, in Japan, there are 9 million persons with disabilities and 35 million people aged 65 years or older. So it's a big market with a huge potential. And what they get from investing in disability inclusion It will lead to the increase in sales, and also the value of the company in the eyes of the investors will improve. And lastly, but very importantly, it's the right thing to do as well. So making your businesses disability inclusive is in line with SDGs, for example. Some of the success factors. At the foundation is our conviction in the value created by persons with disabilities. As you have seen, our business model has evolved, but it never drifted from this conviction. And we've been quite innovative and quick in coming up different types of solutions to respond to the changing needs of our clients. And we've been successful in changing the mindset from our clients from one of compliance to seeing disability inclusions as business opportunities. So by working with us, our clients can increase business opportunities and also their social value. So it's good for economical profitability and also social contribution. Yeah, so we believe this kind of business model has a potential to be adapted in other countries. So I hope our example can serve, our experience can serve as an example of how you can start small to generate social change. And in our case, our commitment to the value created by persons with disabilities has been the key to our growth. Thank you very much.
So please, we welcome now questions from the audience. Anyone who has a question, please feel free.
Amy, congratulations on the presentation. Really wonderful work you're doing. Could you tell us where's the revenue model in the business? Is it the companies pay you? Is it the government pays you?
Thank you very much. We charge our clients. So our clients pay, and we do not receive any subsidies or public funding from the government. And sometimes our clients are government agencies, and they pay us. And we try to engage our research monitors with disabilities as much as possible. And we charge our clients for their participation. So that's the business model.
The challenge in countries which have tried this kind of model is really getting the revenue model sorted out, because companies don't want to pay. They want to get the benefit and not pay for it.
Yes, thank you, exactly. And that's how what we have experienced. And the most important thing is to start with changing the mindset. And because once they see the importance, or they start understanding the importance of making their businesses disability inclusive, they start noticing the things that they want to change. Like some companies start thinking like, well, we should do something about the physical accessibility of our facilities, not just the staff attitude, for example. So that's how we usually use the training as the entry point. Then it usually starts from there. Thank you.
Hi. It's wonderful presentation, and sorry. Yeah, it's a wonderful presentation work. My only thing I would like to know is what next is your plan, because I think you have covered on hearing impairment, you have covered on the part of accessibility of wheelchair and others. So what next in their journey?
Thank you very much. We have been trying to cover as many different types of disabilities as possible. And we still have a lot of work to do. And what we are seeing now is an increasing demand from our clients to have better understanding about persons with mental health conditions or psychosocial disabilities. And so we also work with these clients who want to understand better, like how they can accommodate the employees with such conditions better. And that's something we're working on now. And also we have started a new service. In Japan, persons with disabilities carry a little notebook to show that you're registered as persons with disabilities, and you need to show the notebook to get discount. But it's very inconvenient. And so what we have developed is an app, and you can use the app to show your ID. And this, we are working with many companies to accept this app instead or in addition to the actual physical notebook. And through this business model, we are hoping that we'll get as many private companies on board, and maybe we can use this platform to generate more income, because it can be used to promote some companies, and we can maybe get a handling charge, for example. So we are trying different things, and there's a lot more we want to do. Thank you.
Hi, Amy. Congratulations for your presentation. Was really great. It seems, can you hear me? It seems that for me, and my perspective from here, a key success factor is actually your monitors and I forgot the name, but the team of researchers who went to the physical venue to evaluate this space. And how do you engage and contract this kind of people? How do you engage these people?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, what we do now is that we have a registry. The people, the research monitors are registered with us, and they tell us what types of disabilities they have, their age. And when we conduct research, it depends on what kind of research we are doing, but what we do is we just inform the registered research monitors that we are conducting this research. Are you interested in taking part? And they can just tell us if they're interested. And there are many types of, many different ways to participate in our research, as I mentioned. Some people who cannot leave home, who find it very difficult to leave home, they are very happy to be taking part in online surveys, for example. And for example, when we had a customer, which is a shopping mall, they wanted to change their signs in the shop to be more accessible. We invited our research monitors with different types of visual impairment and also wheelchair users, so that we can have different perspectives about the signs, and we try to find the middle way. And when we have something like this, we basically inform the research monitors.
But as a consultancy firm, how do we enroll them? So you use like a timesheet and 20 hours per week, and how do you remunerate and pay them?
Thank you very much. Yes, at the moment, we pay to them like each time they participate in our research. So we do not have like contract. So but they are remunerated each time they take part in our survey. So for example, if you come to take part in our access audit for a half day, and you may get like $100, for example. Thank you.
Thanks, madam. Nice presentation as well. I want to attest to all that you are presenting. Most of the models you're sharing about, I learned from Japan. And if you have a chance to visit Swaziland today, I want to tell you, you would find audible traffic lights, yellow guide blocks, and the cabs have been modified into ramps. Unfortunately, I didn't get that idea that I need to charge that consultation, because I kept telling them this is what they ought to do. But I think from now on, I am because in most of the cases, everything that they need to do concerning disability, I am always on top of the line to tell them what to do. But I really appreciate that you now have got a consultancy company, and I'm a custodian of all these changes. And I think I would have to adapt to the consultancy, and I charge the companies.
Thank you so much for your comment. Well, this is like, I'm really happy I made this presentation. If you could take away some idea for your business, and I'm sure there are a lot of things that you can do, and especially when you work with persons with different types of disabilities, I think the value will increase a lot. Thank you so much for your comment.
My very simple question. I just want to know about the follow-ups, because sometimes, even because it's a very beautiful revenue model, but what happens like 5 years down the line, 3 years down the line, because the companies themselves might not contact you for a follow-up or a revision, or because the management might change, employers, the middle management might change, or new constructions might have come up, or new practices might have added, so new employees might have joined for they were not trained before. So do you contact them to be, in 5 years or once in 3 years or something like that, as a follow-up, like, we want to check again? Because the problem with working in a contract is that the moment we submit something, then it's done. So the companies might not expect you or remunerate for further follow-up. So how does that work? Thank you.
Thank you very much. For example, as for the training program, we try to try to encourage our clients to make it part of their regular training program, so that every year when they have like a new intake, we can go and give training, for example. And also, for example, about the amusement park, it's located in a very hilly area, and they cannot improve the physical accessibility right away. So what we did was to give them like long-term plan. So when we give recommendations, we don't just give them quick fix. So we give them short-term goals and midterm, and what they should do in long term, so that we can follow them up later. And they really appreciate that, because they need to have a long-term plan to be able to secure budget strategically. Yeah, so that's how we try to engage them with us in the long term. Thank you very much.
I have a question. It's by kind of a hypothetical in a sense, but could your project, would it been successful if you would have started like 10 years ago? Or does it change that the atmosphere in Japan has changed and that allowed this to be a successful model than 10 years ago, etc.?
Thank you very much. I think founding this company was very timely, because of the convention, and because of the convention, the domestic law was also modified. And also with the 2020 Olympics and Paralympics, the private companies are very keen or aware of the need to do something, right? And especially big companies which are sponsoring the games, they want to make sure that the employees are aware, yeah, and be trained. So this has been really big push. So I think what we really need to do is to consolidate our business base now, so that we can survive after 2020. Any advice would be so much appreciated.
Thank you for that presentation. It was very good. It seems that most of the engagements with your clients are focused on them wanting to improve the experience with their customers. Have you also found that some of your clients are also interested in employing more people with disabilities?
Thank you very much. I didn't focus much about the employment part of it, but our clients, many of them also come to us because they want to employ more persons with disabilities. They want to know how they can adapt the work environment, or how they can reach out to persons with disabilities who are seeking jobs. Because well, in Japan, it's getting really competitive for companies to recruit persons with disabilities who are capable. So we have also been helping them in like how they should present themselves in the website, or how to give get the message across that the company is welcoming persons with disabilities. So we also work on the employment part. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you very much for the presentation. I think it was very clear, and I think we understood well what your business model is. So thank you for making it easy at this time of the day. I have one question, and it's perhaps also related to our colleague here. Did you do an outreach for the clients? And if so, what was the strategy behind that? Like, in order to engage with businesses, how did you approach them, and what was your strategy around that?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, true. Some clients come to us, but we also need to reach out. And what we do is often we get referred by other companies because the president of the company we worked with, they introduce us to other companies. That happens quite a lot. And also we are often in media, and that really helps. We have had a lot of exposure in media, and partly because of the Paralympics, I think, because exactly, yes. So we are exposed in media, and so they often come to us, or when we just go to them, and it's easy for us to explain who we are. So I think the whole environment is very positive and helping us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for an excellent presentation. You certainly exemplify the last but not least. And I just want to bring out one thing in your presentation that I think I'm going to take with me of all the wonderful things. You put view from accessible seats, and that stays with me because one thinks about accessibility. If one can't go through the front door, one shouldn't go inside at all. Because view, it's a quality, not just accessibility. Sometimes ramps are at the side, sometimes elevators are at a different location. But I'm going to take away that idea of the view from the accessible seat. It should be the same view as everyone. So I want to thank you in the name of the ILO. Thank you to the audience here, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you for attending this. You made this conference the success it was. So thank you very much. Have a very good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.